rival Tokyo and Buster Douglas beating, of course, Mike Tyson. But I think when she gets hit by Christy Martin for the first time in her career, she's going to face power that she's never felt. We'll see how she reacts to that.
Okay, and let's take a look at the tail of the tape, and that'll show you that Christy, although she's shorter, she is heavier. You see, 3 3/4 pounds heavier. Christy's also a year younger. Their reach is just the same, and they're both coming off victories. But Christy is a more powerful individual in general. I mean, Mia St. John is the beauty queen turned athlete. Christy Martin is the athlete turned boxer. She has all the skills. She's a tremendous physical specimen, and she technically in her prime, and Christy's a little over the top. She's the first to admit that, but she thinks she's got plenty left to handle Mia St. John. Here's the WBC women's rules: 2-minute rounds, 10-point must scoring system. There'll be no standing 8 count and no 3 knockdown rule. And nobody can be saved by the bell in any round, and only the referee can stop the fight. If we have any accidental headbutts, we'll get into those rules as they become pertinent. All right, we understand that Mia St. John is ready to make her entrance, so we await Mia St. John coming in here. Born in San Francisco, living in Canoga Park, that's in California, Los Angeles area. She has Robert Garcia, who'll be coming in with her. Maria Rosales and Dr. Todd Anderson all work the corner along with Frida Gibbs. There she is. She's a raving beauty. Mia, the knockout St. John, 26-1-1. This is her 5th fight this year, so she's been active.
Been very active. There are a lot of skeptics who think this ring walk will be longer than the fight itself. But you know what? She does have a lot of heart. She's been on some major cards, a lot of the De La Hoya fight cards. I watched her in training, and I got to give her a lot of credit for going in there against Christy Martin. And she has skills, and she does have a lot of heart.
And she's also getting the biggest payday of her life for this fight. She's coming in. And Christy herself told me, in reality, with all the hype away from the cameras and whatnot, I actually do have a lot of respect for Mia. We've had a lot of fun on the publicity tour. She called Christy Martin trailer trash. Christy called her a few names. But in reality, Christy has a lot of respect for Mia St. John. And she told me she thinks that Mia's fighting better now. And the recent fights that she has seen her, especially working with the man behind her there, Robert Garcia, who's a great fighter in his own right, that she's turning her punches over and getting a lot more power in her shots. So Christy does have a little concern.
And Frida Gibbs in her corner, who's been an outstanding female fighter for a long time and has been doing a lot of work with Mia.
All right, and now we'll have the ring walk of Christy Martin. And of course, you heard Mia St. John say this is the girl that made her want to be a fighter. And a couple of years ago when I did the Frazier and Ali fight, Layla Ali told me the same thing, that it was actually Christy Martin that made her turn to boxing, not so much her dad's career. Although I think Johnny McClain has done a brilliant job in capitalizing, and why shouldn't you, on the great name of Ali? It's synonymous with boxing, but she's the girl of the hour, 44-2, 2 draws, 31 knockouts. She lives outside of Orlando, Florida, formerly from West Virginia. Mother and dad are here. She truly is the coal miner's daughter. Her dad and her brother, both coal miners. This was a tremendous athlete. Scored 70 points in a college basketball game.
And when I used to describe her to people, Colonel, before people saw her on all those pay-per-views and she made her own name, I'd say, hey, this girl, Christy Martin, hits like a man, throws punches like a man, and people have since found that out. We'll see if Mia finds it out here shortly.
Well, I often describe her technical ability as good as any man, but she, forget that, she's as good as any fighter at her weight class, because technically she's a tremendous boxer. And she's on the back nine of her career too, and she knows it. She'd like to fight perhaps Lucia Riga, definitely wants to fight Layla Ali, but this is the girl she has to fight tonight in Mia St. John. Well, Jimmy Lennon Jr. is standing by for our main event of the evening. Once again, let's go to the classiest ring announcer of them all. Here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Silverdome here in Pontiac, Michigan for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Peter Klamka's Revolution Fighting in association with Spring Communication, as sponsored by Legend Mobile. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the Michigan State Boxing Commission. Our chairman is Dr. Michael Sherbin. Inspector in charge is Ted Kazemka. along with the World Boxing Council President Jose Sulaiman, and the supervisor is Jerry Bolin. Introducing to you at this time are 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. We have Dario Chiarini, Rosemary Grable, and Jim Homayan. And our third man of the ring, the referee in charge of the action. He'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Frank Garza. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening, the Battle of the Cover Girls. 10 rounds of boxing for the WBC Women's Pound for Pound Championship. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from the Pontiac Silverdome, it's fight time! Introducing to you first on my left, she is fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with pink trim, hailing from Los Angeles, California. She weighed in at 140 1/4 pounds with an outstanding record of 26 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. She has 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of women's boxing's great stars, introducing Mia Rosales St. John. And her opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner in this 10-round main event, wearing pink trunks with white trim, fighting out of Orlando, Florida by way of West Virginia. She weighed in at 144 pounds. Her outstanding record includes 44 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, with 31 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the WBC Women's Pound for Pound champion, introducing the coal miner's daughter, Christy Martin. Once again, our referee in charge now to give instructions, Frank Garza, reminding you this is 10 2-minute rounds of boxing scheduled.
I need everybody out in the corners to set the chief second and the boxers. Chief seconds and the boxers only.
All right, the referee, Frank Garza, calls the combatants to the center of the ring, giving the final instructions. Christy told me she was totally distracted leading up to this fight. She only had 13 rounds of sparring. But she said, just look at my awesome trunks that were made by Tammy, Jim's daughter. That's all I care about tonight.
Key to this fight early will be how Mia reacts when she tastes the power of Christy.
And Christy's determined that she's going to put power on her immediately. She's going right after it because Christy herself doesn't want this fight to drag into, well, beyond the second, third, or fourth round if she can help it. Don't forget the last 2 times out, she had a heck of a tough time against Lisa Hollowine, going 10 rounds in her last fight. Here we go, Christy right after with a hook, right on top of her, digging to the body, and Mia's already felt the power of Christy Martin in the early going here in round number 1. This is scheduled for 10. Mia feints a little bit, tries to get her jab. She wants to stay away and get off and try to survive this first round is the most important to her. Christy really not showing a lot of respect. She goes side to side, follows right after Mia. Mia almost twists her head as she throws her punches. Christy trying to get in there and land something heavy right away and make her feel the power. Christy really, as throughout her career, hasn't worried about anything but landing power shots. Wild with her shot that time. Mia does a nice job ducking away from it and getting under it.
She's doing what she needs to do. Christy's trying to land the left hook to the body and then up to the head. There's a nice right hand by Christy. Mia has been stopped once by Rolanda Andrews a couple of years back in 2 rounds.
Christy has that look on her face like, okay, I got this girl right now. Mia is doing what she has to do. She's staying away, trying to get some room, trying to keep the jab in the face of Christy and don't get caught by the power shot early. They both feint. The head goes down of Mia St. John. If she puts her head down like that, Christy will crack her with an uppercut. Christy knows how to do that. Mia can't make those mistakes. See the head down like that? And when you have your head down looking at the canvas like that, she'll bang her with the right hand. Mia's got to be careful of that, not take her eye off Christy for 1 second, because Christy's on a mission here.
Mia doing a good job, though, of turning angles, creating angles, and making it difficult for Christy to turn over those power shots.
And that's what she wants to do, and position herself so she can get a little bit of power. Look at Christy digging body shots to the body of Mia St. John. Now, Mia's felt the power. She backs off, takes a deep breath, but she's doing what she has to do here to get through this first round. Remember the 2-minute rounds, so there's only 10 seconds to go. Christy Martin trying to get power shots on Mia. Goes to the leading right hand, and Mia has survived the first round of this fight, and that is much to her credit. All right. So Mia will have a lot more confidence now, although she has felt some power. Look at the look on Christy Martin's face, though, smiling, and feels like she can do what she wants with this girl.
Well, I tell you what, Mia did exactly what she wanted to get through that round.
Watch the body shots, though, here, Speedy, that Marty has for us.
Inside, Christy coming in with the jab, free right hand to the hips, and those punches there will slow down Mia should this fight continue. Mia trying to use her athleticism and her legs to stay away.
Christy has to keep herself under control, as Mia is doing a nice job getting the angles, creating angles, try to get a little bit more offensive minded, and don't make the mistake that she made in the first round by taking her eyes off Christy. If she continues to put her head down, it's just a matter of time before Christy will catch up with her. And Mia doesn't want that to happen, and a lot of fans. She's got tons of fans herself. Christy's not the only one with a lot of boxing fans. Here's Christy bouncing across the ring, right at her, moving her shoulders side to side. She's picking up the pace now, digging to the body, really digging shots into the ribs of Mia St. John. Mia tries to tie her up. Frank Garza has trouble separating the two. Christy's on a mission right now here in round number 2. She'd like to try and take her out early. She taps her with a jab, 2-3 jabs of Mia doing what she has to do, and that's staying outside the power of Christy. Christy comes with the uppercut. Mia didn't get caught with it, though. She's got that right glove right in her face. Nice left hook by Mia St. John.
She's already done better than 18 other females who've been knocked out in one round by Christy Martin, but she must tie up that right hand and stay off of those ropes.
Is Christy really pummeling the body of Mia. Mia has got to grab onto her, but it's the power of Christy that makes it impossible for her to tie her up when she comes inside. Christy can throw punches from all kinds of angles. When she comes in, Mia has got to do one or two things. She's got to get out of there, or she's got to grab her. But whatever you do, don't put your head down like she has done a couple of times, or Christy will make her pay for that. Mia, again, trying to create the angles, getting the jab in the face, and she's doing a pretty good job of that.
She's pawing, though, with the jab, Colonel. She needs to put a little bit of something behind that, at least because Christy is open for that jab.
Well, Christy doesn't care about defense in this fight at all. She's all offense. She's coming straight forward. She wants to catch her with a power shot, and she wants to hurt her, quite frankly. Wild with the uppercut is Christy Martin that time. Mia escapes that one by standing back. Mia up on the toes, bounces around, slides around to her left, trying to get the jab in the face of Christy, who picks it off with the gloves. Christy comes right through the jab that time. You know, Mia's not doubling with the jab, and she's got to do that if she really wants to hold Christy off. Christy not jabbing at all. She's just winging shots.
Yeah, Christy, again, normally fights at 145 pounds or so, and this is a big step up for Mia, but to her credit, doing a good job. It looks like she may have gotten through another one.
Well, she has survived the second round, and that's a lot to the credit of Mia St. John. Here's a girl who's truly a beauty queen against a real tough athlete who's perhaps one of the greatest female fighters in the history of certainly the sport, and certainly Christy will go into the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Oh, no doubt. She's been the pioneer for the sport, began her career in 1989 and has fought everybody there is to fight, maybe with the exception of Lucia Riker, who's here. And there's some big fights out there in the future for Sumaya Nani, a rematch. Of course, Nani beat her. And, of course, Layla Ali and some others. Right now, you see that free right hand, but good lateral movement. Uppercuts. Christy really trying to take that body apart. Mia had a couple of little moments like that. Slapping left hook, didn't do any damage, but
got the attention of Christy anyway. All right, we're coming up to round number 3. I'm Bob Sheridan with Jimmy Smith and Cassandra Anderson.
All right.
And I think this is the point that Cassandra made, that a lot of people thought Mia would just walk, get walked right over, and it hasn't happened.
Not so far. Here we go. Round number 3. Christy off the stool in a hurry. She's right on top of her, pumping the jab in the face of Mia St. John. When she starts pumping that jab, she's a much better fighter, because right behind it will be a right hand to the body and then back upstairs. She doesn't usually throw one. She missed that downstairs. You know, Mia's doing a nice job turning her shoulder in and really preventing Christy from getting in. She's trying to use every bit of her reach to hold Christy off. Pretty good defensive tactics against a puncher like Christy Martin.
But strictly trying to survive, not doing anything to try to win this fight at this point.
You got the idea in the interview that you heard at the very start of it that, you know, when she's talking about her size and Christy's power and whatnot, that you might see a survival mode fighter. But she's doing a little bit better than that. She's at times trying to get offensive minded, and Christy's all offense. All she wants to do is catch this girl and catch her with a good shot. She caught her with a right hand, left hook, digging 3 right hands to the body. And how much more of that punishment can Mia St. John take? And Mia has gobbled up about, I would say, 10 or 15 shots to that rib cage, and she's going to be sore tomorrow morning, I'll tell you that.
She's also going to begin to slow down in a while from those body shots. They take it right out of your legs. And this is a mistake for Mia St. John to get in there and slug. But again, that Mexican blood going through her, she's showing that she has some heart to go along with it.
Yeah, she has got heart, and Christy talked about the Mexican heart of Mia, and Mia is showing that because the last thing that you would think she'd do would be to stand and slug with it, yet she tried it. She caught Christy that time, caught her again with a shot with the left hand. Now Christy comes inside. Christy doesn't like getting hit by Mia St. John, I'll tell you that. She comes right. Go ahead,
Mia's landed 3 very good jabs and even a left hook in this round.
Very stiff jab and a very hard body shot by Christy following it up. Nobody has been down. Nobody really shaken. Christy just sort of outboxing Mia St. John through the first 3 rounds. Point. She's loading up body shots. How many more of those body shots can Mia take? I mean, she's got to be in tremendous physical shape. There's the bell ending the 3rd round. And I'll tell you this, I give a lot of credit to Mia St. John for just taking the amount of body shots that Christy has doled out thus far.
I agree with you. You know, and Mia had a couple of moments in that 3rd round with the jab and a hook. You see it, Christy coming in. There's a left jab by Mia. There's a hook right to the nose of Christy.
And reminding you, this is round number 4.
Christy trying to use her own jab, and I tell you, she is really working on the sides, especially that right side. Actually, the left side of Mia with the right hook.
But Christy is such a determined athlete. You know, she's not really showing. There's Tommy Hearns, the hitman. He's enjoying this. He loves female boxing, and why wouldn't he? I love that hat that you got this. I mean, you tried to get that before the show.
I tell you, I need that. I'm a little cold right here, chilly at ringside.
It is freezing here. Here we go, round number 4, scheduled for 10. Christy Martin and Mia St. John. Remember, Christy's last couple of fights have gone the 10 rounds. Mia trying to hang in there. She's got her head down again, and Christy bangs the body, ducks underneath a shot by Mia St. John, and now back upstairs comes Christy. This is round number 4 action. Christy with her back here to the left of the ring in the pink trunks. To the right of the ring in the dark trunks, of course, is Mia St. John. Mia bounces around to her right. Christy stops her, cuts her off, and bangs to that body again, trying to come with vicious uppercuts. Look at Mia trying to mix with her, Smitty.
And Mia did a great job of sliding off of those ropes and landing some of her own shots. She's doing a great job with upper body movement and leg movement. She is, and showing that she's a very good athlete.
Well, I'll tell you this, Robert Garcia has really done a remarkable job with Mia St. John. In all fairness to Mia, I mean, Christy's one of the best female boxers ever, and Mia really has improved in her skills a tremendous amount. Or are we seeing a little bit of Christy eroding a bit?
Well, there are, though. Christy's clearly not the fighter that she was 4 or 5 years ago. There are those that thought that Belinda Lara Quinte beat her in a fight in 2000, and even Kathy Collins. She's not the fighter, but hey, she's been around since 1989 and fought everybody that there is to fight. So, and we're seeing a Mia St. John who has a lot on the line, a lot of pride. You know, she did that Playboy spread, and everybody thought that she was just all about beauty. Well, she's showing us that she can fight a little bit.
Well, no matter what happens from this point on, Mia St. John has made a fight out of it. She's come to fight. She's shown the heart, and Christy is loading up shots. She caught her with a nice stiff jab that time, missed a wild shot. But Christy fighting a lot wilder than she used to fight. She was always ready to mix it up, and the type of fighter that would, take 2 to get in 3. And that's been the criticism, if there's been any criticism at all. It's been that sort of thing. thing about Christy Martin. Christy herself said that she wasn't able to train as much as she wanted to, and at this age she needs to train just as much, but she's at the same weight she was for last fight a year ago. Remember, Mia St. John has been busy. This is her 5th fight this year, and now they're smiling at each other, and the bell ends round 4. Mia St. John had a pretty good 4th round, didn't she, Spenny? I mean, she didn't win the round, I don't think.
I gave her the 4th round.
Did you?
Ring generalship, movement, landed a few shots.
Go back and going across. You got it? You're doing excellent. You're doing excellent. You hear me? Okay? You got it? You feel me? Can you hear us? Can you hear us, man?
Action in round 4. There's a nice jab by Mia, trapped on the ropes. Does the right thing, spins her opponent around, Christy, and lands her own body shots. Giving as well as she's taking in that round, I thought, Bob.
Well, I thought that by far was Mia's best round. I scored that round even, and you gave it to Mia. So let's see if Mia can use that as a springboard to turn the fight around and get it going, in fact, in her favor. All right, here we go. Round 5 as Christy bounces across the stool very quickly, across the ring, I should say, off the stool, and trying to get at Mia St. John. Now, Christy looks like she's got another adrenaline flow going here now. But Mia's not backing off. She's standing, planting herself, and winging shots herself. Mia trying to hold her off with that jab, bounces right, back to her left, keeps the jab in the face of Christy. Christy tries to get her jab back, and you know what I'm noticing, Christy? I was just about to say she's not driving up that back foot, and then just as I was about to say it, she does it.
It's very important to note that Mia's never been, she's in no woman's land now. She's never been beyond 4 rounds, I don't think, in her career. Christy, by the way, of course, we know has been 10 many times.
And Mia caught Christy a pretty good body shot, and Christy answered that right away. Christy right on top of Mia hanging that left hand down, and part of the reason for that might be some of the body blows that she's taken throughout the course of the fight. And hanging that left hand down is not a good idea unless you can hold that right hand up. She holds that head down again. You know, Christy just really wants to throw that uppercut and snap that head back. Frank Garza, the referee, wants to be sure that nobody gets hurt in here, and watching the action very closely. How about this? Mia fights off the ropes.
Christy landed 3 or 4 really hard punches. Mia only landed 1, but the fact that she could come back after absorbing those real hard body shots.
She loads up a shot, and the crowd is seemingly very much in favor of Mia St. John. Anytime Mia does anything, the crowd really comes to life. Christy didn't quite connect on that uppercut that time. Mia hanging in there, clips her with the left hand. Coming forward is Christy. And I'll tell you who's loving watching this is Lucia Riker right now, saying Mia St. John hung in there for 5 rounds with Christy Martin. And Layla Ali might want some of this now too with a big payday.
Another decent round for Mia St. John.
Yeah, not bad. And Mia getting a lot more confident. I don't know if I can give that round to Mia, but she landed a couple of good shots. Mia certainly did a nice job fighting off the ropes. This is a slick move by her. But look at the punishing body shots.
Yeah, but, you know, this is the thing. We've said, how would she react to that power? Well, this is how she's reacting. She's surviving. Not doing enough to win, but she did land a beautiful right hand there. That was
by far her best shot in the fight, and a terrific shot, and the crowd really reacted. The live crowd in attendance there, and I'm sure you're watching at home and around the world, love to see Mia get a few shots through, because, I mean, she's the kind of girl that you almost pull for, because Christy is, you know, such a remarkable and has been a remarkable champion. It's the underdog Mia, the queen, against the girl that's expected to destroy her. And so Christy has everything against her in the crowd here now, but she is such a competitive athlete. We'll see how it goes.
And Christy maybe, you know, came out a little over anxious, perhaps, trying to get that knockout rather than just letting it go. She's fighting an opponent who's giving her angles, giving her movement, and is determined to stay in there.
Well, she is determined to stay in there, and Christy really wants to take her out as bad as she wanted to take out anybody in her career. And that she's that sort of girl. Even Jim says when Christy gets mad, I don't want any problem. And Jim Martin, of course, is her husband and trainer.
Christy loading up on lefts and rights to the body. Mia may end up in Playboy again, but it won't be tomorrow because she's going to have a few bruises after this fight.
Here's Christy landing some shots now. Mia battling back, though. She plants her feet. She is fighting like the tough Mexican that is being said in every bit of respect that you can give Mexican fighters, that they are tough, and there's a female Mexican fighter who is showing some real heart and courage hanging in there with the great champ, Christy Martin.
She's slowing down, though, Colonel Mia, from all of those punches to the side and the body and the hips. And she's planning, she's trying to move, but I think she's getting a little tired from all of the punishment. Again, she's never been 6 rounds in her career.
Well, I tell you, she's huffing and puffing right now. The crowd at ringside chanting Mia, Mia, trying to spark her on. But in reality, it's Christy that's digging some unbelievable body shots to this girl. And usually Christy just goes headhunting, but she's deciding to go to the body of Mia St. John, and she is really punishing the body. There's Christy comes upstairs. Mia, while she's really game, is taking some shots now, some pretty good shots. She is smart enough to back off. That's another thing. Mia's got some pretty good legs on her in terms of definition of muscle, so she's very well trained for this fight, even though she's the lighter of the 2 fighters. Closing seconds now of the 6th round, and if Mia won the last couple of rounds, I think Christy definitely won the 6th round, because Mia didn't do much at all in that round.
No, clearly a Christy Martin round. Christy starting to use her left jab more. We're here with Jim Martin, her husband, has to say.
What round is this?
Rounds.
Good job, good job. Honey, good day. 6 minutes? 7, 8, 9, 10?
Not saying too much, evidently.
8 minutes? Shit. How is better for you? When you try hard, you're missing those big punches. She's running.
I know, but I don't know if they're giving the rounds.
Pardon me? No.
Action.
No.
Christy with the right hand. Mia backing up, but lands a jab and a right hand of her own. Body shots by Christy Martin. But they're going at it. The crowd was loving it. So are we.
Yeah, you know, kid, this turned out to be a better fight than this is the fight that Christy didn't want. She didn't want it to get into the 7th round, and this is exactly the fight Mia wanted. She wanted to be able to get here, try to get some sort of second win, and hang in there. Here she goes. Christy again very quickly coming across the ring, and she has a nice right hand by Mia St. John. Cut Christy. Let's see if that gets any sort of adrenaline going. That was the 2nd best shot of the fight from Mia St. John. She got Christy's attention for that one.
And she landed that because she set it up with angles. She threw out a jab, moved left, moved right. Then while Christy was maneuvering, she turned over a big shot. Christy not worried, not respecting the power of Mia St. John. I think that's why Mia's landing some of those shots. But hey, they're landing.
Another factor in the fight, you got to notice that the referee is breaking the clinches immediately, which certainly helps out the quicker Mia St. John. You know, Christy loves to load up the body shots, but watch the ref. As soon as they tie each other up, he digs right in there and separates the 2. As long as the hands are free, he lets it go. But when they tie up, he doesn't want Christy pounding that body and taking advantage of. Oh, Christy loaded up that right hand and fell just a bit short. There's a straight left hand in the face of Mia. Mia trying to get the circulation going through those legs and knees. Hanging in there. We're in round number 7. This is scheduled for 10. Many people didn't expect this to go beyond 2 or 3 rounds, so Mia's already made it a better fight than what most people expected. And I know you people that bought the pay-per-view are thrilled that you're seeing this, because in a way it's kind of a historical event here.
All the critics and all the naysayers of Mia who said, she was just a girl that was cover of Playboy who was on some De La Hoya cards. She's proving that all those 26 times in the ring that she has learned something, and she's doing all she can to hang in there with Christy Martin tonight, no doubt about it. And I would imagine Layla Ali and Sumaya Nani and Lucia Riker probably salivating at what they think they can probably do to Christy off this performance so far.
And Christy complained about not getting training money and only sparred about 10 or 12 rounds in this fight, beginning to show it a little. Boy, did she crack Mia St. John. But look at Mia, battle back. Look at this war. Wow, how about that at the end of the 7th round? Look at the people on their feet. Woo!
The corner's smiling for Mia St. John.
They are thrilled over there for Mia. Look at this.
You know, you love this, though, when somebody who you thought was just all image turns out to be a little bit more than that. Christy Martin, watch the body shots here. That may have been a little bit low there. Mia's credit, she took it and came right back. clearly, though, another Christy Martin round.
Yeah, I mean, Christy, make no mistake about it, is winning the rounds here. We had a couple of rounds, 4 and 5, that might have been questionable. In fact, Smitty, I think you gave the 4th round to Mia. I scored that round even, and then Christy became to come back and really scored some really heavy body blows.
Do you think that Christy may be getting a little bit frustrated that she hasn't taken her out, Bob? You've done so many of her fights.
Yeah, I think that Christy is frustrated. I think Christy wanted to take her out in the early going, and I think now that Christy wants to try to knock her out, but she's wanted to since the 1st round, and Mia's not having it. I mean, to the credit of Mia St. John.
And by the way, a lot of pressure on Christy Martin. Pressure, stuff that we haven't even gotten into yet, but also the fact that she was expected to just absolutely walk right through this opponent. So there was a lot of pressure put on Christy, who, you know, has been the pioneer for women's boxing and has been. She'll go down right now as the greatest female fighter ever. Somebody might, you know, surpass her someday, but and I think she belongs in the Hall of Fame someday as well.
Well, she will, just on the basis of what she started, really, for her. And every one of them, including Mia and Layla Ali and even Lucia Rica, all admit that Christy Martin was their inspiration. So,
right.
I mean, she's a Hall of Famer, to be sure. She'll go in the Boxing Hall of Fame. But that aside, we're in the 8th round, and Mia St. John, the pure beauty, absolute beautiful-looking girl and a beauty queen, turn athlete, is giving Christy, well, I won't say she's giving all she can handle, but she's certainly giving her a fight anyway.
Hey, we're in the 8th round, folks, and nobody thought it would get out of the first, you know, couple of rounds. Mia's never been this distance. She's fighting at a heavier weight, fighting the heavy-handed, tenacious Christy Martin, and she's in here. She is clearly, though, on my scorecard, losing the fight, but maybe winning in some other ways.
She's winning in a lot of ways, Smitty. She's winning for women's boxing. I mean, this is a pretty good contest, and it's great. Don't forget, this is a pay-per-view event, only really the 2nd successful pay-per-view event in comparison to the Layla Ali and Jackie Frazier fight, which broke all kinds of records. I'm sure this fight won't break those kind of records because you don't have the kind of names involved. But I will say this, this promotion is really terrific for boxing for women, because you've got 2 really terrific athletes in there. Christy showing a little bit of her age and the fact that she couldn't train the way she wanted to, but boy, she certainly has skills. And Mia St. John, on the other hand, the beauty queen, is showing that she has turned out to be a tremendous athlete. And I agree with what Christy Martin told me. This girl is fighting better today than I've ever seen her fight. And that guy right there, Robert Garcia, is the reason for it.
And also, again, you see Fredia, the Cheetah Gibbs in there, who's always in great condition and great fighter in her own right.
Let them know. Let them all know. Long have 30 seconds.
Action around 8. Christy digging with that left hook to the body, right hand, but look at Mia fighting right back, looking right into the eyes of Christy Martin and saying, come on. Wow, what a determined look. She feels like she's a winner already.
Well, she said, you know, at the very top of the show, I'm a winner just being here, no matter what happens in this fight. And no matter what happens in the last 2 rounds, there's 4 more minutes of boxing to go, this girl's a winner.
Colonel, look at her face. She still looks cover girlish.
Yeah, she does. Hey, the 9th round, Christy Martin and Mia St. John. Most didn't think it would be this far, and it's been an interesting fight. Christy really wants to try and take her out, and Mia's happy with anything that she can do to hang in there now. And she's making a real good account of herself. Christy getting back to boxing now, digging to the body downstairs, a light shot taken. I'm just amazed at the physical condition of Mia St. John to be able to gobble up the body shots that Christy Martin has hit her with throughout the course of the fight, going back to the 1st round. I mean, cracking, slashing shots to the body throughout the course of this fight. Has one to the head that time. I'm also surprised that Christy hasn't been able to dump Mia. Does that say something about the punching power of Christy?
I think Christy, if she would utilize her jab more and come over with the right hand, she might be able to, you know, hit Mia like that. But she's so concerned about just working the body over. I don't think she thought Mia's rib cage would hold up. Mia's also learned a little bit from being on all of those Oscar De La Hoya cards, because some of her little maneuvers and side movements and angles are De La Hoya-ish, if you will.
Oh yeah, she's a better, more slick fighter than ever at any time in her career, and she's showing that, twisting the shoulders left and right. And meanwhile, she's losing, you know, just about every round, but surviving against Christy, even though you hate to say it's just a question of survival. I mean, that's what her goal obviously is, and she's doing it, and she's thrilled with the fact that she's in there, and there's 36 seconds to go in the 9th and next and final round of this fight.
Yeah,
Christy, on the other hand, you know, you talked about the pressure that she's feeling, the frustration that she had going in here, and now I'm sure she's frustrated with what's going on. But you know something? It might set her up for another huge payday against one of the other two big attractions of the distaff side of female boxing, and that, of course, is Lucia Rica and Layla Ali.
Well, the promoters Don King and Bob Arum knew that these two, you know, would add to their cards. Don having Christy and Bob having Mia. Look at Mia fight back here.
Look at this! And she caught Christy right at the bell with a left hand. And again, for the third time in this fight, the crowd is on its feet here in Michigan. Wow!
Put your hands up when you back up.
I have this 89 to 83 for that young lady, Christy Martin. Pretty much winning every round.
She's trying to get a good hook on. She knows she'd lose the fight. You're winning the fight.
Are you sure?
Oh, I know you're winning the fight. You lost the fight. I'm sure you
You're not
lost the
looking me in the
round.
eyes.
We haven't lost the round.
You won't believe this.
Don't
Right
set
on
that
my
head up
scorecard.
here.
I've got it exactly the same.
So you got 4
Can't hit
minutes.
Jim Martin.
Last round. That's how let him work inside.
I think they're just shocked that they're still here. Into the round, watch this action, Bob. Christy coming in, working the body again. Mia's not going anywhere, comes back with a nice left hook of her own. Doesn't have the real power to hurt Christy Martin, but she's trying.
What she lacks in power, she certainly has in desire. Listen to the crowd, and again, to start the round, everyone on their feet here in Pontiac, Michigan.
Let's go.
If you're enjoying it at home as much as they're enjoying it here, you're enjoying this night of boxing. All right, this is it, the 10th and final round. Christy Martin trying to take out Mia St. John. Mia has not been down in this fight. Christy hasn't been able to stop her. Needless to say, she hasn't been able to stop her, but she hasn't been able to drop her. And she's had flashes of brilliance herself from time to time.
Mia's showing us a lot of strength, though, too. Look at how strong she is.
Look at this, Smitty. Look at them toe-to-toe. There's no quitting either one of these women, right to the finish. It surprised me. Mia's never been to the 10th round in her life, and they're battling like two warriors. But they really are warriors, too.
Yeah, you think Julio Cesar Chavez and a few other, even the late Salvador Sanchez, and they would be proud of Mia with her performance. She's not just trying to survive, she's trying to win this round and the fight.
Well, I'll tell you this, if you're not a female boxing fan or haven't been, and you just happen to be catching this pay-per-view someplace, I bet you're a female boxing fan now. You couldn't ask for more desire or a better show put on by two women. You couldn't ask for by two men any better than this, I'll tell you that. 49 seconds to go in the fight. Toe-to-toe they've been for the first minute of this one. Christy wants the knockout so bad, and Mia won't have any part of it. Neither fighter has been down. Neither fighter really visibly shaken during the course of the fight. Christy's loaded up a huge amount of body shots during the course of the fight, and Mia has had, well, 6 or 7 or 8 different times when she's landed shots, surprising shots. She hasn't been able to shift Christy, but she certainly has made it interesting. And the crowd chants Mia, Mia, everything really going against Christy except the scorecard.
I asked the question, how would she react to the power of Christy Martin? We see the result. 10 seconds to go in round 10. She's weathered the storm. She hasn't won the fight.
Okay, the closing seconds of the fight. Let's see if they finish with a flurry. And it's Mia who bangs Christy on the break. And they load up one final shot. And there's the bell ending the fight. Well, I'll say this for Mia St. John. I got to congratulate her on a tremendous effort. And Christy Martin, who had a lot going against her coming into this fight, we congratulate her on winning the fight. Wow, it was certainly a terrific contest to watch. It was interesting as we really looked for the situation where Christy Martin would knock out Mia St. John, and it wasn't going to be, as you see them hoisting Mia up on the shoulders.
Well, for Mia St. John, it's a victory. It'll ultimately go down, in my opinion, as a victory for Christy Martin. I have it 99 to 93 for Christy Martin, but Mia St. John is more than just a centerfold.
And I get it 99-92, so one way or the other, I think the judges will have it someplace around the way we do.
Action in the last round was heated. Look at Mia landing punches left and right. Christy battling right back, really working hard for the knockout.
All right, Jimmy Lennon Jr. has the decision, so let's make it official by going to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon. Take it away, Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judges at ringside, Jim Humayun and Rosemary Grable both scored about 97 to 93. Dario Chiarini scores at 99 to 91. All three in favor of the winner, the WBC Women's Pound for Pound champion, the coal miner's daughter, Christy Martin.
All right, we got to get out of here. We thank you for tuning in. We thank our promoter, Peter Klempker, our producer and director, Marty Corn, John Ruby from Spring Communications, and for our entire production staff, and Jimmy Smith, Cassandra Henderson, I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan saying good night, everybody. So long from Pontiac, Michigan.
Okay, guys. Okay, one more and that's it. Okay, all the way around. Thanks.